Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Irish Collegiate Esports Winter CSGO Tournament. We're very lucky tonight to be joined by Nasperoid for Trinity B Team, the TCD Ducks, against the TUD B Team, the TUD Apes. Joining me tonight, of course, will be Nasperoid as we jump into our first map of the evening. Is going to be Mirage. Nasperoid, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, and I was just trying to quietly guess which maps would be picked, and I did think Mirage would be one of the picks, but I'm very excited to see later on in the evening, if we don't mind giving a bit of a jump ahead. Overpass will be the second map. This map chosen by TUD, and Overpass chosen by Trinity.
Absolutely. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this will be the first Overpass game on stream, which is always exciting to see. It's a great map. It's one of my favorites to cast. Not one of my favorites to play on, but that's fine. I'm not playing tonight.
Well, that's the unfortunate problem of it being a newer map. Everyone loves to watch it. No one really prefers playing it. You prefer the old stuff.
Absolutely, indeed. So, do you know anything about these two teams, Aspirate? Have we seen any of them before? I think I recognize two of the players. Do you know any of them yourself?
I know none of them, so this will be a very instructive game for me.
It's good anyway. I think it should be a pretty balanced match. Both teams have had some pretty respectable results from their A teams. So if their B teams are anything like that, I think we should be in for a decent enough game tonight. Hopefully, anyway, as per usual.
Well, you hope from TUD, considering TUD generally do so well in a lot of these tournaments, that their Bs and their C teams will even be quite good.
Absolutely, yeah. The B team last year was phenomenal. Actually, I think they either made it to the quarterfinals or the semifinals. I can't remember, but they had some amazing fraggers. None of them are returning this year, unfortunately, by the looks. But if it's the same standard as last year, we should be in for a treat for sure. Over on TCD, I believe there's one or two players showing their faces again after last year. I believe we've seen Zygosaur before, and one other player who has not yet joined the server. I will tell you his name when I see it so that I will remember it. But we'll be kicking off shortly anyway, as everybody joins.
So as usual on Mirage, I want to see people contesting middle, and I want to see people making good use of that middle. If one team can't really defend it, if they can't bring the ops out, or they can't bring the contingencies to stop a good old middle rush into B or into A, then it might be game over before before anyone's really bought anything. So
absolutely, yeah. Middle is
looking for some good middle play.
One of the hot spots on this map for sure. Similar to Cash in that regard, where pretty much if you've got good mid control on your T side or your CT side, you're probably going to dominate the half. The player I could not remember was Ladle. He has just joined the server, and we should be kicking off shortly now as the players beginning to ready up. Knock on some volume might help. All right, here we are. So there'll be no pistol rounds. We'll be starting straight away with TCD on the CT side and TUD on the T side. So straight into the action for you all here tonight.
And of course, as always, we'll be playing best of two, so that's two maps, and a point for whoever wins, a shared point for whoever, if in the event of a draw. And we won't be doing a tiebreaker for the series. We're saving that stuff for later on when we're doing the knockout brackets towards the end of the season.
Indeed, we are. We haven't seen either of these teams on stream yet, so this will be a good introduction for a lot of the players to sort of meet the wider ICE community and the fans, not just the other players. So I think it is a good opportunity for them as well. So even if the results don't go in whichever team's favor tonight, they'll definitely have benefited in some way, just having met more of the wider community, I think.
For having their name known.
Exactly. It looks like we're going to be kicking into the pistol round here now anyway. Great. Oh, wait.
We do.
Looks like just a smoke and a flash on the T side there. It's just going to be a quick play. Looks like they're running towards B nice and early.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say an economic buy on CT side, but Zygosaur has the Deagle, so we know who they expect to be doing the fragging.
Oh, it's a power play, that is. And he's holding the BAP's position. Look at a tag onto Old Doggo to start with, but Old Doggo will take him out with two nice stinks. Redwoods gets one back onto Old Doggo there, and now it's a 4v4 as the smoke comes in. The bomb is spotted coming out onto the bomb side as Ladle drops one in Palace, and Sniffer gets another one. Now it's just a 1 versus 4 for BPRG as he's going to be dropped by Redwoods by the looks. By the knife kill.
No.
Oh, that's a flex in the first round of a team you've never played before. That certainly not much you can say about that.
It's got to feel good. One team feels very good about that, and the other team feels a bit humiliated by that. But look, B-Rush to start the game on T side Mirage. You get the bomb down. You know, you're not off to the worst. You're on the worst position right now.
Absolutely, and looking at his bank, his banker is certainly happy with that as well. He had, I think, 5,750 going into this round. That would be enough for an open body armor. But he's gone to be a lot more sensible about it. He's going to pick up an MP9, some armor. Over on the T side, they're going to force it up as well with 3 MAC-10s, an MP7, and a Galil, and a decent amount of utility as well to work with. So they'll probably be looking to bleed out some of the CTs util here early on. And oh, actually, it's just going to be an ace smokes. I love it. See if they can hit somewhere fast, catch them off guard. First kill will be going in favor of TCD as BPRG drops. Fuzz gets one back onto Redwood, and Fuzz gets a second onto CAG. It's a 4 versus 3 now for TUD. It looks like the bomb will be going down safely. But look at the HP here.
Oh, Zigasar finding Fuzz through the smoke of that MP5. Zigasar finding another one going up staircase. He's looking for the remaining 2 players. He will trade out for his teammate there. Literally cutting it into a 2v1. Will be caught out by Sammy in Firebox. It's a 1v1. Flashbang not doing the work he wanted to, and Ladle will be able to take him down with the P250, putting the second round in TCD's favor.
That wasn't a do or die headshot or anything. He was only on 18 HP. Very, very close round. Respectable from TUD there. I definitely loved seeing that 4 spike come in and the aggressive A play nice and early, just trying to get the bomb down. They could, in theory, get a pretty good buy in this round with 4 AKs as well. I wonder, will they?
Well, it looks like Fuzz thinks they're gonna. Yep. That SSG buy is saying something, and it's saying I have enough money to shoot fools.
Wow, I love the way that's worked out for them. They've pretty much, although they're 2-0 down, they've had no economic disadvantage, and they probably have the better guns going into this round. And looking at the CTs, they're also lacking a bit of utility because they lost 4 players that round, which is certainly not ideal so early in the half, especially on the CT side where everything is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, you generally would expect the T side to sort of save after getting the bomb and then fully buy on the 3rd round. So the fact that they're just putting their money where their mouth is, and they're not winning rounds now, which is important stuff, but it is working in that it's putting TCD on the back foot, draining their money and keeping the utility down. So we could see the fates turn very quickly as the push begins onto the A bomb site.
Looks like the CTs have mostly given it up as Big Doggo finds one into the middle position, but Redwoods trades it out. Fuzz gets one with that SG onto Kag on red box, or onto triple box, and that's going to be the A bomb site right for the taking. However, Sniffler, excellent timing on that peak. He takes down 2 from the CT position, and suddenly it's a 3 versus 2. He'll get a 3rd of the round, and that's the bomb denied, and suddenly it's just Sammy left at a 1 versus 3. He will take out the first, but he's dropped to 14 HP. It's not looking well for him right now.
Tense moment. Zigasar and Sniffler knowing it's on Sammy to make the move. That drop was heard, and the net's closing in. Zigasar can see the top of his head. He can't find the shot, but Sniffler's there as well, and he will find the remaining T.
Solid 4K from Sniffler there to bring what looked to be a very favourable round for TUD right back into TCD's hands. Beautiful triple with that Galil from CT position, denying the bomb, which was the huge factor there. Looks like they're going to bring the AWP as the field here.
Time got that smoke grenade, but
yeah.
Yes, yeah, AWP, yeah. And looks like poor TUD have been forced onto their first real save of the game. Uh-oh. Ladle, they have pistols. You can do this. Into assist. He'll help find one, but BPRG will trade him back down. this glut of presence at the top of middle by TUD. Sniffler will find Lovezy. Search for another. They're all up there. It's a shooting gallery for them. Ladle down to 2 HP is that. Sniffler will bring the damage back, getting BPRG. And the TUD players, they've got some. Douglas found a gun, but he needs to make it back safely and not die. And that's a big ask, but he will find Sniffler in the end. It's a 2v3, and I think this may come down to a save from the T side.
They do have a minute to work with here, and the bomb is still in their possession. I think it might be worth it if they could just poke and prod and see what they can find. They know the op is in the jungle position here. They do not know about Ziggusaur in that flank, though. That could be absolutely lethal for them. As Kag does pick up Old Doggo. And Ziggusaur will get that kill onto Fuzz. Solid round, though, from the E-rating. Sorry, what were you saying?
The long flank working out, as you said.
Yes. Solid buy coming out from both teams here now. If you're TUD, although you've lost 4 like pretty close rounds, you're definitely not disheartened right now because you do have a good buy now. They've taken out the AWP. The glass cannon, though it may be, it is still a large piece on the board. Looks like it's going to be some sort of an A fake here, but TCD aren't quite biting yet. There's still 2 players over on the B bomb site.
They didn't buy that bait. Oh, Ziggusaur is ready to start trading headshots. He'll get Big O'Doggo, but eventually go down to Lovezy, who will himself find Sniffler after getting tagged up through the wall. Sammy will take down Ladle. In the upper V op, Sammy has prevailed. BPRG will find Redwood in market. He'll find a second as well on Kag. Much better. That's much better looking for DD.
Yeah, their patience definitely paid off there. Taking out that AWP glass cannon, risky decision, but definitely paid off. That was a pretty much a round deciding frag he managed to get with it there, turning it from a 4v3 into a 4 versus 2. That's forced TCD. Their economy's been pretty fragile, and they are forced onto the eco round now, which is a little disheartening considering they have 4 rounds in a row. Except for that 1 round. That's just goes to show like the damage TUD have been doing despite losing rounds.
It's always been preventing them getting enough momentum to survive a loss like that. And oh, poor Ladle. The cheeky spots don't work when Fuzz is checking all the basics. See, get the entry on Sniffler onto B site, leaving just poor Ziggusaur to defend it alone, and he may come up the contest with Fuzz if he can find a kill on the Kag on the way. Although Ziggusaur will flip back around and take down Fuzz, he's got an SSG now. Oh. Big Old Doggo checking the flanks. He'll take down Redwoods, trying to get a sneaky shot, and it's just Ziggusaur versus 4 of the TUD's players.
Just going to want to hold on to that. Looks like he's going to try and hide in Palace here as the T's go hunting. They are staying fairly disciplined.
Yep, even towards the end they're not really going too far, just in case it's a bit of a ninja play. And Ziggusaur running away with SGs. I mean, if there's one weapon you could run away with, maybe prefer an AK or not, but the SG is definitely not a bad get with the 100% armor pen.
Especially on CT side, where that 1 hit potential with the scope is sort of heightened in the balance. There's a reason none of the CT rifles can 1 hit at long range. Looks like TCD are going to get a buy here as best they can. They've 2 M4s, an AUG, an SG, and a FAMAS. Not a great buy, but not a bad one either. They are lacking a little bit on the util. And the first encounter will go in their favor as Ladle takes down Fuzz and does a absolute banger load of damage onto Sammy, dropping into 25 hit points. Suddenly it's a 4v5 in favor of TCD as the bomb will be moving towards the A ramp. The AG does manage to get the first one there, but Old Doggo will get one onto Red Ones, and BPRG will take out CAG in response. And whoa, what a shot from Big Old Doggo onto Ladle there. Now it's a 3 versus 2 in favor of TUD, but the words are taken out of my mouth as another TCD player falls, and now it's just Ziggusaur in a 1 versus 3, holding on to that SG from the previous round.
Ziggusaur, he can find the doggo. And the defuse may be a bit beyond him, but he can try go for those frags. He saw BPRG move left. He doesn't know how far left, and he may be walking into a bit of an ambush just to the left side of that box. To grab an AK, it's slightly, it's working for the one-hit headshot, but it's only got 1 round in it. All right, okay, well, the frags are out. Time to just hide.
A respectable effort from him there. He does take down another player, and leaving only two TUD players alive. That is pretty good for keeping their economy just a little more humble. That being said, many of them are in the quintuple digits, which could prove to be a little bit of a problem if TCD can't seem to break their economy, and they are forced onto another eco round as well. This is looking good for TUD right now. TCD are in a bit of a tough one.
Yeah, this is the long game playing out now. Don't let them get too far ahead, and hopefully they can't do the same to us. And now TCD's economy is just absolutely faltering, while players on the TUD side started going, at $10,000. What would I like to waste it on now?
Oh, but this Palace push from CAG will drop Fuzz, and that is a rifle in the hand of the CT players. And suddenly it's a 4 versus 4.
Redwood's not able to find the kills onto Doggo, getting up to the middle window through boost, and Lovesy finding Ziggusaur on the B site. Bomb in tow. He will find another on the Sniffler, and CAG and CAG will be taken down by the Doggo. And I think that's a bomb down as well. Oh no, it just didn't get the bomb down.
So close. Regardless, I don't think they necessarily need it. They have a player on 14,000, another 2 on 10,000, and the other 2 can still buy the next round and probably the round after too. I think TUD's economy is almost sorted for the rest of this half, unless TCG can start winning rounds in a row and denying more bomb plants, because that is something TUD have got a lot of so far.
Set strats, you love to see them. Smoke's going over onto A, and it does look like it's going to be a commit. Redwoods will find BPRG just before that stair smoke goes down. Finding Doggo on in the Palace position. CAG will find Fuzz against Tetris, and it's just the 2 remaining T players to find the entire CT team. Redwoods making this harder, taking down Sammy the Opper. He's looking for Lovesy. He wants to find him, and he will share that kill with CAG.
A very, very clean round coming out from TCD there, right when they need it. TUD will be more than in a comfortable spot to buy again this round, but that's a step in the right direction there from TCD, picking up their first round since their string of rounds after the pistol round, which is interesting to think about, because it feels like TUD have just kind of been dominant so far, despite even losing those initial rounds. Look at this buy though, what on earth?
Rush B, my friends!
It's working.
One from Doggo, one from Fuzz. There's the B side open wide up. TCD are on the back foot now. Ladle will find Fuzz, and Doggo will go for him. He will find the refrag. It's just CAG and Redwoods completely caught out guard. Redwoods trying to find the player in the bench. And he will find him. Doggo goes down to Redwood's AK. CAG needing to drop that off. It's not great for these close quarter situations. Meanwhile, Lovesy has found Redwoods, and CAG, flanked on all sides, will eventually be taken down by Lovesy, putting another round in TUD's favor. Sometimes you just can't beat a good old B rush.
Absolutely, those meddling P90s always getting in the way of TCD's plans. Score is 5-5 if you're just joining us now. It's been an edge of the seat sort of game so far. The rounds going over and back like absolutely crazy. Both teams on a... well, I was going to say both teams on a decent buy this round, but TCD do have 2 scouts, which is definitely not ideal, but perhaps more favourable if you're on CT rather than T. Let's see what kind of damage they can do with them now. Looks like it's going to be a mid-play from TUD here as they charge into underpass, doing amazing damage onto Little, and eventually taking him out, but Redwoods gets one onto Fuzz, but big old Doggo takes him out in response, but CAG now left to hold the A-bomb site for himself. He's been dinked to the edge of the wall, and he's only got a scout, but he thinks Lovesy in return, and Sniffler gets one as well. Big old dog takes out CAG, and Sniffler takes out Sammy, leaving just big old Doggo in a 1 versus 2. He gets the first, his third of the round. The bomb in hand, he will spray, but he will be taken down by Sniffler. as he picks up a 3k of his own. What a round that was.
That was an explosive that round. Whenever the scouts come out, you got to be thinking this is an Opper who's upset that he shortchanged, or this could be a very special round. And when you get 360 headshots like that, I mean, it's a special round no matter what happens.
Absolutely. I do think there's two very distinct playstyles with the scout. You've got the riflers who buy a scout who will play it for like the headshots, and then there's the Oppers who will play it for like the body shots so their team can come in and finish off the kills. I think the kills we saw that round were definitely the riflers using the scouts to get the headshots because they were some crispy flicks. However, going into round number 12 now. The old Doggo will find Redwoods in the stair position, and he's wary of a player in the underpass. UD start to push out onto A bomb site. CAG will get 2 crisp kills, but he will be dropped by the grenade. Now it's a 2 versus 3 in favor of TCD.
Bit of a spread on TCD side. They're not entirely sure which bomb site it was going, but they know now, and Ladle will deny the plant with that scout just in time for the molly to go down and obscure him from Lubsy. Can't even see him, let alone shoot him back. Damage being traded. Lubsy will find one on the Zigasar. He's trying to finish off Ladle. But Sniffler will eventually come in to save his teammate.
Yet another chaotic round. Let's have a look at the scoreboard here. Big old Doggo sitting on 16 frags, leading his team. Just Lufsy close behind him, 10. Definitely a pretty wide spread over on the TUD side, whereas TCD, with now 7 rounds, they're pretty well balanced. Only 4 kills between their top frag and the bottom frag, whereas there are 13 kills on the TUD side from the top to bottom. But it's like
I would place some of it down to the fact that Sammy can't get his hand on the op as much as he wants, but I mean, hang on. Whoa, that's too fast, guys. TUD, Russian B site again. They will go kill for kill. It's a 4 aside. They will put the man advantage into their favor. Sammy will knock it even further, taking down Ladle from the van. The bomb has been planted. It's down to CAG and Redwoods to find the remaining player and get this defused. Although their position's not exactly a surprise. Redwood going to be trying coming out of the shop. I think he may have stopped a little further than he intended to with that flashbang. But he's good to know he's chasing. He will find the first onto BPRG. Lubsy will trade him back out. It's just Kag having to find the remaining TUD players, and Fuzz is not going to let that happen.
That's what I like to call a rude B rush, because we were in the middle of talking and they just started fragging. I think it's very considerate of us casters, but we'll forgive them this time as they to get their 6th round on the board.
Well, TCD can't defend them if we're talking. We don't see it coming.
That's a fair point. They also can't see their credit cards at the moment, as they seem to be just buying P250s and USPs. I'm playing a default spread at that, so they're not even going to try to rush anywhere. Don't see this round playing out in their favor, especially with big old Doggo.
Not if Doggo gets a triple kill like that. Jumping headshots with the AK. Doggo, calm down. Fuzz is going to find Zigasar, but poor Sniffler. What's he to do? BPRG will find him in CT. God, Doggo, stop headshotting people while jumping with the AK-47. You're teaching bad habits to the new people.
How does he make it work? I don't know, but that is 19 kills for him on only round 15 starting now. Score is 7-7 as we enter the final round of the half. Pretty solid buy coming out from TUD. TCD, on the other hand, looking a little short on changes. We do see an MP9 and a Scout come out, and not a lot of utility. Whereas over on TUD, they have tanks worth of it.
Which honestly has been the tagline of this entire half. To be honest, TUD are doing an amazing job at managing TCD's economy. Never mind their own. Although this is new, nice slow push out, default spread. Lubsy will find Kag in CT. He will immediately find another onto Sniffler on stairs, opening up the A bomb site. Fuzz will take down Ladle coming in from window, and it's just a matter of getting the bomb halfway across the map. But it doesn't matter because Doggo will just shoot the last remaining player from Trinity.
What a clean half there from TUD. Although the score is pretty close, it's kind of felt like they had control for the majority of it. They lost the 4-round streak at the very start, where they just kind of took a step back and built up their economy. Definitely stood by them for the rest of the half, because I mean, I don't think they ecoed once after that. Even though TUD did manage to get a couple of sparse rounds in there. They just couldn't seem to break through their defenses.
We'll have to see if they can repeat their performance on the CT side now. Diffuser on fuzz. If the bomb goes down, we gotta hope this man is ready to defuse it. And for everyone else, mostly just a little bit of armor, a little bit of flashbang.
Definitely going to be
slow play from TCD.
I think going to be some sort of a B hit with those flashes. Lidl does also have a P250. Could be interesting. BT players haven't heard anything in BFs, and Lufsey has pushed up a decent amount here. Should have good info for his teammate. We might actually even see players start pushing into middle. Oh, but that click's going to be detrimental. They've heard him in the underpass position. Lufsey lets the first go by, and takes him out in the head as he walks past, gets a second onto Ziggusaur, and a third onto Stifler. Lufsey will finally be silenced by Ladle, but is it too late? It's now a 4 versus 2. You still have control of the bomb, but CTs are quickly coming in. One will be dropped by Redwoods as Fuzz meets his end to a plethora of body shots, but Sammy will trade him out, and big old Doggo will get that final kill onto Ladle, denying the bomb plant. But what a 3k from Lufsey there. That was huge. He abused the fact that they were pushing slow and got into that sort of forward position. And with the USPS, it's quite difficult to communicate where exactly you've been shot from that quickly.
Absolutely brilliant. And on top of that, the rotates once the call went out from TUD, being able to immediately get into position to box up TCD and not let them even get the bomb plant. Absolutely brilliant play from TUD. And now the middle rush. Going unfortunately as Fuzz and Big Ol' Doggo managing to pick up the first 2 kills. And the kills will just keep pouring in.
Very clean round from TUD there, all in all. None of them dropping, and big old Doggo nearly breaking that big 25, 24 and 11 for him right now. Followed not too far behind by Lufsey on 18. But however, the buy here definitely favors TCD as they do have 5 AKs and 5 sets of body and Kev. Decent enough grenades, but somehow Fuzz will win that fight with the FAMAS in middle as he takes out Ladle and does a lot of damage onto CAG. Trade will not come in for TUD there, and now it's a 4 versus 4.
Slightly undecided as to what they want to do with it. It's still in T-spawn, moving towards B though, and big old Doggo will find Ziggusaur having a bit of a scout of mid. Hopefully CAG will be able to trade him back eventually. He will find big old Doggo. Redwoods finding Sammy on A main. It's just 2 players from TUD, BPRG, and Lovesy to try and prevent plant and a win for TCD.
CAG has to be careful not to overextend here. These 2 SMGs will drop him in a heartbeat, and that they will. As he peeks through the portal, BPRG will just take him out, and that's an AK in the hands of the CTs now in a 2 versus 2. And the bomb has only just gone down as well. So TUD definitely not out of this round as Lufsey finds Redwood looking the other way. Now it's just Snifter left on the 1 versus 2. He will land a bullet onto Lufsey, but BPRG comes in and takes that head off him, and that's an 11th round on the board for TUD. Clean half so far.
I think TUD are comfortable on CT side Mirage. I think it shows.
I think they're comfortable on Mirage in general by the looks of it. This is some good stuff from them. It was their pick, to be fair to them as well. So TCD are doing good to be competitive at least, as they're forced onto an eco round this round. But they do need to start getting some rounds on the board pretty quickly. Is that the bomb in middle? Oh my goodness.
That's a bit of a strategic mistake. Fluff managing to drop those 2 players with the AUG. Of course, he was just up against I think it was a Glock and a Doogie, so it was a bit of a stacked fight. Big old Doggo will find Redwoods on the round and accidentally shoot Sammy in the foot, but it's all going wrong for Trinity at the moment. As you say, that bomb is at top middle. If there's one place you don't want the bomb, it's at an uncontrolled top middle.
Especially on an eco round.
Yeah, exactly. There's not much they can really do against these rifles. It's just a matter of time until they get boxed in, really.
Which it seems like they have been now, just caught outside that B apartment's position. Fuzz will peek out and BPRG will steal the kill, but Fuzz will be rewarded with a kill onto Sniffler there in return. Another clean round from TUD. 12-7 is the score here on our first map of 2 this evening.
That was slightly horrifying to watch Sammy slowly sneaking through T-spawn, to be honest. The executioner's hammer.
I like this from TCD now. They're recognizing that they need to change something up, because that's now the 4th round they've lost. So they've lost for sure a buy round, and 2 weaker rounds and a pistol round. So that's this is where you kind of need to start getting your books in the same basket. So they're gonna call, by the looks of it, a tack pause to try and sort out what they can do this round to try and break TUD's defenses. Perhaps they'll take a page out of your book here, and they will go for that mid control, which we spoke about before the game started, that it should be pivotal on a map like Mirage, but they haven't really been going for a lot of it this half, whereas TUD on their T side, they had mid control nearly every round, taking out that upper and mid window.
Exactly. It just opens up too many options to not do, to be honest, and the big reasons why TCD are just getting so hemmed in towards the later part of the round. There you go. CAG will find Fuzz opening up that middle, and now they have so much control, so many options. Although Big Old Doggo, he likes it that way, and he will try to prevent. Although Sniffler will find his way through and get BPRG, and there you go. They more or less have B site. Sammy, however, will find Redwoods from A site. You need to keep that smoked and re-smoked if you're going to keep using it. Big Old Doggo will take down Ladle. They're kind of stuck in short there. CAG on 1 HP will rotate all the way across the map, hopefully getting the bomb down on A.
I like this plant. They know what control they have, and they're going to play off that. Big Old Doggo, easy kill onto CAG, and the no-scope onto Zygosaur. What is this? 29 kills for him. He is just playing free-for-all deathmatch right now, running around with that AWP.
Poor Zygosaur, he pulled out a Molotov just at that second that Big Old Doggo decided to beat up around the corner.
We need some too much for Z-Block to start playing here with oh, that was beautiful. Can I make a request to have whoever's doing those weekly frag movies, just a slight reference to Too Much for Z-Block for that kill there, because there's no doubt that that's making it into the compilation.
Position, he will get damage, and he will take down the beast that is Doggo in mid. Fuzz will try to retrade, and he will find Redwoods. This position will be taken down by Kag in the end. Although that looks like A site is now well and truly in the terrorist control. Just Sammy left to try and hold off a plan. He will see the bomb and take him down.
Big frags for Sammy though, as he gets 2 there, making it all even by the time he is traded out. BPRG will take out CAG there. That is huge. Ladle now in 1 versus 2 with it all to play for.
This player, low health in his favor. He'll find BPRG. It's just Lovezy left. Outside it, they know where each other are. It's just a matter of playing the bomb. Oh, this Molotov. A very good spot for it. Unfortunately, Lovezy had a smoke grenade left to put it down. Lovezy will find the headshot underneath an exploding grenade.
Very,
absolutely brilliant retakes coming up from TUD.
Yeah, they were in a very disadvantaged position there. TCD were kind of floating middle and up connector and jungle, and it was just Sammy left on that A bomb site, but he did an excellent job there with that AUG to get those 2 frags before being traded out, and giving his team a chance in the round, which they did, as they get their 14th round right now. And TCD, they've definitely changed it up a little bit, but currently looks like it's just not quite enough yet, as they can't seem to get around on their T side yet.
I think they're running into TUD, one of TUD's strengths, and that is the retakes. Even after you do break through and get the bomb down, TUD are very quick and very coordinated to react. I think someone jumping in the apartments just told BPRG where some players are, and the suspicion of the B push has already taken over the CTs. He is waiting. He'll find the first on the Snively, but a second on the Redwoods. Zygosaur and Ladle have left to try and get this bomb planted, but it's in the middle of apps between the windows. Sammy will find Ladle, and as the trades come in, TUD have secured another round.
That is and a very unfortunate round from CCD. They had the drop on TUD there. It looked like that short player wanted to go help middle and just leave that 1B player by himself. but an unfortunate footstep saw to that being changed as TUD picked up what could very well be the penultimate round of this first map. However, round 23, TCD again have a good buy. A respectable one, lacking a bit in the utility, but 5 rifles is definitely nothing to trifle over. 1 AWP on the field, still in the hands of big old Doggo. 31 frags for him right now. He is having a game of it.
Big old Doggo's jumped right in the mid. They have to get the intel. They have to know that the rush is coming. CAG will find 1. He'll find 2. He'll find 3. What CT defense, says CAG. I have an AK and this is my offense.
He's
He'll
just gonna
find a
hold
4th on a BPRG. Can he get the ace? No! Lovesy will take him down just at the last second.
And Lovesy somehow finds himself in a 1 versus 4 there. He could have blinked and missed it. He'll get the 2nd kill there onto Zygosaur, and now it's just a 1 versus 3. Very low HP, but solid nade will do a lot of damage onto Lovesy, but Sniffler has had enough of TUD in this round, and that'll be TCD's first round of this half. And what a round it was. Lovesy holding W and just fragging out. Oh, sorry, not Lovesy.
CAG.
CAG. Absolutely just fragging out.
You'd love to see it. I was rooting for them so much there. The round advantage is so much against them. They really do need something to boost their spirits after that. But you know what? A 4K will do just fine.
Oh.
Losing to Fuzz and mid with the op, maybe not so much.
He says not this round as he quickly puts him to bed. And suddenly it's a 5 versus 4 on match point for TUD. That's definitely not an ideal situation for TCD to find themselves in. But you have to respect it. They were going for the early pick to try and get the man advantage. Big old Doggo is hurt. Multiple players here. He'll get the first onto Nadal. I think he hits one of Palace, but he does not. And somehow he's still alive. At 17 hit points, his teammates will come in as Sammy takes out Zygosaur and BPRG helps him out onto Sniffler. Suddenly it's just Redwoods with that AWP in a 1 versus 5 to keep his team in this first map of the evening.
If there was dire situations, this is it. Redwoods gonna miss the first shot towards jungle. Unfortunately, big old Doggo will know the sound of him. Will know what being shot at sounds like and flick around, finish up the last player.
And that is going to be map 1 going in favor of TUD. We're going to take a short break and we will come back to you with map 2, which will be Overpass, which is TCD's pick. And they will be starting on the T side on it this time. So we will be back with you shortly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Hope you had a lovely little break there as we finished up map 1 of Mirage going in favor of TUD. We're moving into map 2 now, which is TCD's pick, Overpass. They're going to be starting on the CT side. Let's get a bit of volume in there. I am still joined by Nasperoid, as we hopefully will be starting soon. Yeah, warm-up is just finishing.
Excited to see Overpass. First time we've seen it on the main stage. Probably seen it on maybe some of the affiliated streamers along with Ice, but first time we'll see it here, chosen by Trinity TCD.
Indeed. Be interesting to see how this one goes. TUD winning their map pick. It's expected, but it was a pretty dominant game from them. That being said, so I'm wondering how TCD now. If they're gonna hit him with the old 1-2 and do the same back to them. How have TCD just taken a bunch of damage there? 4 of them have taken damage before they've even fought a player yet.
Misclicks, maybe.
That's a little bit unfortunate. Big Old Doggo will, however, get the first kill of the round, and a second onto Redwood, who'll spot the remaining 3 players, however. Sammy gets one to Sniffler after Ladle gets one. Big Old Dog gets a third of the round, and a fourth onto Zigosaur. What a fragger he is tonight. 4 clean headshots.
Welcome to tonight's game of Big Old Doggo and Sammy scare us on the casting couch at how well they're able to hit headshots.
TCD kind of be scratching their heads after what the hell happened to that one, but they listen to the analyst desk, which is telling them you can't stop Big Old Doggo. He's just gonna frag. He'll be bringing an M4 into this round. The only rifle on the server right now is TCD are just gonna roll with 5 Glocks, no armor, no util. Looks like it's just gonna be that long, slow push. Well, long, fast push, but they'll be spotted out pretty quickly by Sammy with that scout. Miss a couple of shots, and he's getting into dangerous territory here. He needs to get out of there. Somehow does manage to it. 5 Glocks blasting him. Buzz will take out Redwoods. He'll spot multiple other players and get a second onto Zigosaur, but he'll be dropped by Ladle. BPRG gets one onto CAG. I got that right. And that's just Sniffler and Ladle left in a 2 versus 4.
Do have a FAMAS now, so they've got something. Although Ladle will take quite a bit of damage. Straight out of FAMAS. Make sure the healthier player has it, but it's not going to do much against Big Old Doggo, who will find one, only for BPRG to find the second. I gotta give it to Sammy having the courage to re-peek an entire team of very angry terrorists with Glocks.
Yeah, not just like twice, but 3 or 4 times there, and still managed to survive. Did he die at the end there? I didn't notice. He survived for quite some time.
End, I think.
No, yeah, but he survived through the fire and the flames of the picking Glocks. This will be a buy round coming in from TCD now, however. 5 AK-47s for them, and again, only 1 rifle on TUD. In the hands of Big Old Doggo, who better to have it in the hands of?
Trying to find Sammy. He will take Sammy down with a headshot from the AK-47. CAG will also find Buzz. That'll give him an off. Well, he'll find another on the BPRG. That's a lot of control in the middle of the map and on A site. You can see even on the mini map a bit of a player reshuffle is happening now as TUD have to adjust to this new situation.
Ladle is playing this brilliantly. He's thrown that flash over, and both CT players seem pretty convinced it's going to be A right now. But he's the only player there, as the rest of the B players just flood the B bomb site, and that bomb will go down uncontested here. Big Doggo though, perhaps more forward than Zigosaur expected, but that's no match for Zigosaur's aim as he rips the head off him. Lusty finds with the one with the UMP up on the A bomb site, but I think he's just going to want to hold on to that AK and bring it into the next round.
You can see it, both teams aren't in the best position money-wise. Luvsy himself is probably the richest player on the server at the moment.
That he is. TD are definitely going to be in a rough spot economically after this one. They're on minimum loss bonus, obviously, having not lost a round yet. So I expect we'll see an eco coming from them here, especially since they know TCD have at least 4 AK-47s. Lufsy, though, will drop one.
Cheeky little economy damage just as the winning bell came in for TCD.
And actually, look at that. Looks like TUD are going to go for the buy because Lufsy managed to hold on to that rifle. He can drop one. They'll be a little short on the utility, but they seem willing to risk it. Have they forgotten to buy Fuzz? Nope, Fuzz is just going to pick up a Deagle.
I mean, both teams aren't in the best of place. The Sniffler is running away with 4K, but even then, there's not much utility coming from the T side this round.
Sniffler forget to buy utility this round, or did he just throw it at the very start? It's the bomb dropped in connector though. Oh my goodness. Edwards will drop the AK of Lovesy there, as it's now a 3 versus 3. The bomb's still in possession of the CT side. Big old Doggo takes out Redwoods, and now it's just a 2 versus 3, and one of those T players on 4 HP finds himself as the last remaining. The calls come out that he's low. BPRG switches to that USB and takes him out. And now look at this, that is 2 AKs saved for TUD. So they pick up a 3rd round, and pretty much hard reset TCD there. They'll be able to get 3 rifles if they want, but I don't think they'll go for the buy in this round.
No, I can see, if not this, well, maybe next round, Snuffler and Redwoods pitching in to buy their teammates, but for the moment, it'd be a bit tight if they were to even go for a force buy, especially against TUD, who are now fed up on AKs and stuff. Just far too much to contest. But Redwoods will find the first kill onto BPRG in the underground. Fuzz will answer onto Ladle.
Sammy creeping up with that long position will spot out the bomb, and he'll do a significant amount of damage, but he won't finish the frag just yet. 2 players near him, and CAG just rips the head off him, steals an AK, and now it's a 3 versus 2 in favor of the ecoing team. TUD, how have you let this happen?
Big old Doggo's here to defend A site. Try for a wall bang. Not going to get anything from it, and more or less just give his position away to Redwoods, who will take him down cleanly with an AK headshot.
Just flicks him in the ear with that bullet, and his body goes spinning. It looks like they're going to hold off the plant. Just a moment.
Loves you can see his shadow. He's not fooled, but he is worried.
I just noticed that. That's hilarious.
This may be a save. If anything, just so Lovezy can wait for him to drop. Or just go around. That works too. He'll find one onto Sniffler. And second onto the one, making the shadow, but CAG is still able to hide in the corner. That ledge must be a pixel wide.
Clean, as the kids say. And TCD have redeemed their economy there. They've got a slightly booming one there now with 5 AKs, full utility across the board. Oh, the Sniffler. Sniffler? Still hasn't bought any grenades. Interesting. Okay.
No. Now I think about it, that might be why he has so much money. Do they not trust him with flashbangs?
And this is the second round this happy
anyway.
hasn't. But
TUD, you're gonna do a good old pistol rush right down Birthday. Taking down one player. Look, Sniffler will go down. Ladle will eventually go down to the stolen AK of BPRG. They've given up B site, but they have stolen some utility for themselves. Well, I say utility, guns. And now, important decision. Do they go for the retake? CAG will find Lovesy in the sewer. It's a slow play from TUD. They're wary. They don't want to lose these weapons, but they also don't want to lose the round. BPRG will be dropped by Zigasar, although Fuzz will find CAG and find another onto Zigasar. It's just Redwoods left to defend the bomb. Although, up in heaven, he's got a very strong position on the TUD players, and given that they're so low, it could just be a matter of 1 taps to the leg. He heard that defusal sound. He will find one. Can he find a second? He may try to wallbang it, but he can't! And TUD will win by defusing the bomb. That's utility. That's a lot of money lost for all dying and not having guns, but it's a round on the board.
that is so unfortunate for TCD. He had the positioning and everything, although it wasn't planted for him. That box is fairly wallbangable. I don't think he realized Sammy was so close to the edge of it, and he's kind of wallbanging a little bit to the right. Very unlucky. He definitely played it like as well as he could. Just the positioning didn't really work out in his favor.
Exactly.
TUD just absolutely stealing around that they had no right to win. They started with, I believe, 4 USBs, maybe even 5. Somehow came out on top.
A bit of a trade with Eco rounds doing quite well, but we'll open up with a trade. 1 player each. It is now 4v4. Lovesy will find Redwoods in the sewers, nullifying TCD's presence over on the B site. Last 3 T players over by the bathroom area, trying to find a way into A site.
Ooh, I was about to say Ziggusaur looking pretty low, but the AWP of Fuzz sees to that and it just takes him apart. Fuzz will spot out Ladle, and he's going to keep re-peeking even though he's on like no hit points, and he will be dropped by Ladle, punished for that aggression perhaps, but Sammy trades it out, and now it's just Sniffler in a 1 versus 3. Grenade doing a bit of chip damage.
He does have the bomb though, so it's not all hopeless, though he is once again slowly being boxed in by Lovesy, who is over at the bathrooms. He will find the first onto Sammy, opening the site up for himself, but Big Old Doggo is on the way. He's going to have to move quickly if he's going to actually take advantage of this position.
I think Sniffler's aware of that long player, and Lovesy will take him down.
Very slow flank from Lovesy. He'd been flanking them since the last 2 TCD players had started attacking A site, so waiting in the wings for his moment to strike paid off very well.
It did. Sniffler caught completely off guard. However, now, this is an interesting buy. Both teams have 4 rifles. Sammy just caught with the UMP, but Ziggusaur also just caught with the Scout on the other side. Be interesting to see where he's going to go with that. It looks like it's going to be towards Monster. Will be smoked off though. Oh, somehow finds that kill onto Ladle and Long, and Lovesy gets one onto CAG in return as well. Suddenly it's a 5 versus 3. The stolen AK in the hands of Fuzz.
It's not looking good, although it does look like TCD are starting to reconsider where they're putting the bombs. Redwood was able to find one onto Fuzz, although Lovesy taking down Snuffler will put it into a 2v4. Getting dicey. They're going to have to explode onto the site and find both players before they can have any hope against the bomb. Then Big Old Doggo doesn't want to see the bomb anywhere near B site as he runs right at Monster and finds the remaining 2 Trinity players.
Not in his backyard. He rushes to that Monster position, finds those 2 clean kills, putting him again at the very top of the scoreboard on 9 frags and only 3 deaths. He's having a stellar series so far.
Honestly, I feel like when they're watching the kill feed, TCD must just immediately feel confident whenever Big Old Doggo gets killed for whatever reason.
Pretty much, yeah. It's not even just that he's having the raw fragging ability. He's getting like huge impact frags as well, which is very, very big. Ooh, BPRG.
BPRG.
Looked like he might
through
be...
that flash. Yeah, through that flashbang, flashed himself a bit, couldn't land the immediate headshot, but then spray controlled from the second player to the first player and back again, finding both kills. Absolutely brilliant. And Sammy's not one to be outdone. He'll find 2 on Birthday Party, and then finally Fuzz will just wrap around and shoot Ziggusaur in the back. That just fell apart immediately.
Yeah, I thought BPRG was done for there when that flash caught him, and the 2 players were just shooting Glocks on him, but it seems the Glocks were just loaded with peas or something, because he finds those 2 headshots completely free. Excellent spray control from him, to be fair. But that is a 7th round now for TUD, as this half is very quickly slipping away from Trinity Ducks, or the Trinity Typewriter, sorry. They do have a buy here, however, and the AWP does come out in the hands of CAG. So they take it towards Monster, but he will be dropped, just as I say that, by Big Old Doggo through that smoke.
The new version of the caster curse. You've mentioned a player and Big Old Doggo will somehow find a way to kill them.
Smokes aren't walls, I need to remember that, especially not with Big Doggo on the other side. How did Sammy get there?
Poor Ladle. Shot from all sides. I don't know how Ladle managed to get his way to T-spawn, but oh.
He omen ulted or something. Lovesy takes out Sniffler outside of B, and now it's just Redwoods. 1 versus 5, stuck in T-spawn. He'll find the first, but Sammy, the fragger that he is, will just take him out and take away any chance of the glory 1v5 ace that Redwood might have had. What a round that was.
No idea. When did he sneak into Birthday Party?
I don't even know where he came from. Did he push connector? Or did he just push middle and timing Ladle and whoever was holding middle with Ladle? I don't know. Either way,
One
TCD.
of them.
Yeah, one of those 2. TCD now forced onto a deco with just a P250 and 4 deagles. Ladle again dropped by Sammy. And Ziggusaur just standing in the middle of Monster, demanding that Big Dog give him his head, but Big Dog says no and takes him out. BPRG gets another one onto Redwood in the middle. CAG takes one onto Lufsy, but Big Ol' Doggo, very, very clean crosshair placement, will pick up his second of the round and finish him off. And
very nice dancing from Big Ol' Doggo behind the toxic barrels too. Just want to say that now.
Oh yeah, absolutely slip and sliding. He knew what was up. That is round number 12 we're coming into now, and the score is 9-2 in favor of TUD. The TUD B team as well, but from this, the level of gameplay we're seeing from them tonight, they may as well be one of the high contenders in this tournament so far. It's absolutely solid stuff we're seeing from them.
That's what we mean. At the beginning, we said we hadn't seen many of these players much, especially we definitely haven't seen many of the ice broadcasts from here. So far, goddamn Redwood, just take two down while I'm talking, why don't you? But TUD always have very strong teams. It's absolutely awesome to see the B team proving that they may be a B team, but they're very much going to play on the level of the A teams as Redwood finds his third. Well, Big Ol' Doggo is left to defend against 4 of the TCD players coming onto the site. Sniffler will get the bomb down, and it's just Lubsy left to try and get this defuse. Strong position, but a bit of a predictable one. Ziggusaur is already looking for it, and it'll just shut him down immediately.
Interesting that TCD didn't opt to pick up the AWP there. The one player that Big Ol' Doggo did drop was CAG, who had that op in his hands, but they didn't want to pick it up at the end there, which was interesting.
They've been favoring an awful lot of either contact plays or quick reaction rushes, so it wouldn't surprise me if they would just rather not take an AWP just for how slow you tend to have to play with it. Also, the AKs are scary enough. I mean,
It's true.
Trading shots, CAG with Sammy. CAG just gonna take Sammy down. Although Fuzz will find a return.
Redwoods finds one over towards B onto BPRG. Looks like the rotate's gonna actually move towards the A-bomb site, but the T players are walking out with Monster. Big Ol' Doggo caught off guard from that side angle as Ladle just very cleanly bursts his head off. Pops it open like a party popper. The T's moving into the B site have left the bomb outside of Monster. The CTs are already here. Lufsy will find one onto Sniffler, and he would think Ladle. Now it's just Fuzz left in a 1v3. He finds the first onto Ziggusaur. Does he know that there is a flank coming in? He's going to look away at the wrong moment, but he looks back at the right moment and takes out Redwood. And now it's a 1 versus 1. Fuzz, 3 kills in this round. Ladle picks up the bomb and looks like he's going to run towards A with it.
Not gonna have much time if he runs into any opposition, but Fuzz is fairly convinced he's gonna be coming back to B. Was he aware that the player even ran out of B?
No, but he has to be aware that it's a possibility. With only 20 seconds left on the timer here, I think he's gonna slowly move towards either Heaven or up to A. Ladle's gonna have to start making noise soon if he wants that bomb to go down with only 10 seconds left. Both player 1 bullet away from dying. Fuzz is gonna hear that plant.
Fuzz still convinced it was B right up until that plant. Normally this kind of utility use is stifling, but in this case it is downright deadly for the 10 HP Fuzz.
Opting to go in very sneaky beaky, like he has full util here. He could perhaps get a smoke off here, maybe a flash behind it. Could get some very lucky timing. Oh, but he's missed the smoke just a tiny bit. And Ladle, the aggression catches Fuzz off guard as he's peeking that wide. Very ballsy from Ladle, to be fair. Only 15 HP left on him and he's playing like that, but you gotta respect that it worked out.
Also, the ballsy just run to have the faith that you can run halfway across the map and the player won't be waiting for you having called your bluff.
Very true as well. That will be TCD's second round in a row as they pick up their 4th round this half. Although it was a very close round. It was a 1v3 or a 2v5 or something at one stage. And it was very, very nearly a round for TUD. Sammy, however, opening up this round, will get one onto Ladle. Redwoods gets one onto BPRG, and CAG will trade out a kill onto Savvy. Now it's a 4 versus 3 in favor of TCD. So they've definitely found a foothold in this half, suddenly out of nowhere.
Bode well for them for the next half, where they really are going to have to start winning rounds consecutively if they want to pick up this map. Big old dog pushed very far forward, and Sniffler never even checks it. No HP players. Redwood will immediately be dropped by Big Doggo, and Ziggasar will find the refrag. Oh, where is CAG? Is on A bomb site.
This is huge from him. This is a good lurk. This is what you call a good lurk. He's not waiting in middle. He's proactive. He's found his way into the A-bomb site. He heard the CT players running off it. Buzz just missing the timing on Ziggasor there. He's going to push right out to Truck. I think Ziggasor has heard him.
Very dangerous. Very dangerous, but CAG is a bit wary. He's only on 4 HP himself. Fuzz will find the kill on the Ziggasor.
CAG's position though. He's behind them both. He will find Lucy's back. And he'll find Fuzz, who just cannot get behind that box fast enough. 3 kills in that round.
I say unlucky. It was just very clever to get on that particular side of the wall exactly when he needed to. Very good lurker play.
Absolutely, yeah. CAG definitely earned every ounce of that win there. Brilliant 3k for him to come out on top. Nice little 1v2 in there as well to bring TCD to their 5th round. I think if you're TCD here, if you're finishing the half 10-5, you're not displeased with it, to be fair. But they'll certainly be looking for the 6th round anyway. They have the AWP back in the hands of CAG. Seems to have found his feet, found his comfort now. And 4 rifles on the TCD side as well to go with that. Over on the CT side, only the 3 rifles, a UMP, and a scout. Looks like Buzz is going to give up long control.
The doggo got bored. The doggo shot Redwoods in the face.
Understandable
Ladle
reaction.
Find a return out of Sammy. Ladle's on 1 HP.
I think Sammy just showed him mercy. Sammy could have killed him there if he wanted, but he just wanted to show him some mercy, give him a chance. Obviously, the knife out in a monster and pick up that AK. That should be huge information for his team here. He should definitely stack the A-bomb side as a result of that.
Yeah, that might be why there's, well, I'd say 2 of them. There's 2 on the site, and Big Ol' Doggo is very close by. Now Molotov is more or less going to telegraph their intentions. CAG will find Fuzz. Big Ol' Doggo, not to be outdone, will immediately take down Ladle. Run out of ammo with an M4, just grab a new gun because he needs to keep shooting. DPRG will find CAG at long, and it's just holding off the remaining 2 players, Ziggasar and Sniffler, who look like it's begun to start giving ground. Sniffler will find BPRG. And Lovesy has got himself into a close angle here. Although TCD look like they've fallen off of A site. Big Ol' Doggo, not to be fooled, is immediately heading back to heaven.
Don't think they have time.
Will find Ziggasar. He will find the headshot. Big Ol' Doggo keeping TUD in this half.
Wow, that was a very back and forth round there. It looked like TCD had it, then it looked like TUD had it, then TCD somehow got those kills on A, and then somehow TUD managed to finish it out. Big Ol' Doggo on that low HP managed to find that kill that just deterred Sniffler from rushing onto that bomb site with the bomb, and in the end he just ran out of time. Maybe he didn't realize it was the last round, but he just seemed to get cold feet outside of that B bomb site. However, 10-5 now. TUD onto the T side and TCD onto the CT side, which in my opinion I do think Overpass is slightly CT sided. So perhaps we will see a shortening of the distance between these 2 teams' scorelines as TCD hope to pick up some solid defensive rounds. A timeout coming out from TUD here actually. Looks like a attack pause, not a tech one.
Should be good. TCD look like on the for their first CT side round, just gonna grab a bit of armor. Probably confident they won't even have to worry about the bomb going down. Meanwhile, on TUD, BPRG has picked up a Tech 9, which probably signifies a very happy rush, which I wish him all the best of luck with, because they're going to need to start putting rounds in their favor.
Absolutely.
Well, I say putting rounds in their favor. They're just going to want to put TCD on the back foot, and then maybe they could just ride that momentum into the end of the game.
think perhaps part of the reasoning for not buying a kit on the CT side here is that the rotate between A and B is a very quick one at that. Ladle took a lot of damage there from fall damage. It seems to be a problem Infinity are consistently dealing with. However, they're just going to charge out of the short position, trading damage both ways. No kills yet. As TUD pick up the first one, but it's traded out by Redwoods. Fuzz gets a second one onto Redwoods in heaven. 4 versus 3 now as he's going to try to smoke that, but I think that might have gone a little bit too deep. No, actually, CAG blocks it and makes it a perfect smoke. That's so unfortunate for him. CAG will find a kill onto BPRG as the bomb will go down, making it a 3 versus 3. He'll find a second one onto Fuzz. Maybe a third one here onto Luxy, but no, Luxy will take him down, and now it's a 2 versus 2. So he gets one onto Ziggusaur and Sniffler now in a 1 versus 2. They seem to know he's down in the water position, and he will be dropped by the Tech 9 of God Sammy. And that'll be the pistol round going in favor of TUD.
A very good shooting from TUD, and as much as TCD did flip the coin correctly and stack the right bomb site, not enough to assuage the accurate fire of TUD. And unfortunately, they're going to choose this round to save. Fairly standard, you'd understand, but this late in the game, every single save really hurts.
Yeah, absolutely. Round 17 here, and TUD have 11 of those 16 rounds on the scoreboard. So if you're TCD here, you really need to start letting the rounds not slip away so much.
CAG, no. CAG, no. You can't do this.
Want to see this?
Oh, he does! He finds Sammy with the taser. Well, I thought he was joking, but there you go. That's a chunk of change in his pocket, and one annoyed TUD player.
I'm in awe. I can't believe I've just seen that. That was a thing of beauty. I'm sure Sam just wanted to let him get the content. That's the only reason he let him do that. Fuzz takes out Ladle on the bomb site, making it a 3 versus 2 for the T players here. Sniffler in a decent aggressive spot here, but I think he will be dropped by Luxy, UMP, as Zygo comes in with the flank. He will take out Luxy and finds himself in a 1 versus 2, but it looks like the T's are going to play aggressive and actually peek this. Hopefully not too much.
BPRG, who's decorating the bomb site.
It is the map, right? Ziggusaur will be dropped.
Yeah, Fuzz will win the spray now. Someone needs to like dig through all of the recorded stuff and just speak to all of the players. Is that the first Zeus kill of Ice? Because I didn't think I'd ever actually see one in person, if I'm honest.
It's definitely the first one I've seen as a caster, but I feel like there must have been Zeus kills in the past before.
Well, we'll narrow it down for this tournament. If any other player can tell me that they got a Zeus kill, yeah, let me know, because I love seeing these firsts. GG. Forward and birthday, he will find Fuzz on the push. TUD deciding to stack more of their players towards an A push. More standard split. CAG will punish that peek from Lovezy from halfway across the map, but Doggo and BPRG will answer. CAG will find another, eliminating any player who could think about going A, and just Ladle and Sammy left to duel it out on the B bomb site.
Where Sammy finds himself in a 1 versus 3 here. He doesn't have the bomb. It's over on B, but at least he knows that means all 3 TCD players will be there. Manages to find that kill on Ladle through the bottom of that smoke, but Sniffler says, nope, enough, Sammy, go to bed, and he takes him out. And that is a 6th round on the board for TCD. Definitely a much needed one. And although they do have the economic advantage here, their money is still not great. I think they'll only have 3 rifles. Oh no, Sniffler can actually afford those. They'll have 4 rifles and a scout, with TUD opting to just go for the eco round. 2 Deagles, a Tech 9, and 2 Glocks.
They have the rounds for it. They have the money to make next round a very good round. TCD sort of are slightly on the back foot now. If they start dropping like 1 or 2 rounds like this, they could be giving TUD the momentum to just run away with it. And TUD, knowing their strengths at close range, rushing long with all these pistols. Redwoods can't but try to peek. You'll find one onto Sammy with his backup Deagle. CAG will come in and give him a hand, although Big Ol' Doggo will find CAG. Redwoods can't get the kill onto Lovezy, and almost securing the bomb. Fuzz will take down Ziggusaur on the rotate, and it's just the remaining 2 players, Sniffler and Ladle, to hold off this attack. Sniffler will find one, although in the meantime, Fuzz and Lovezy on TUD side have decided that A site isn't for them, and they've switched on over to B just like that. plant was heard, but that will let the TCD players know that they are in the wrong part of the map and need to move fast. They can hear the footsteps. He's getting quite close.
Brilliant flash coming in there. Got Lufsy pure white. We'll hear him walking around, however. Gets that off angle on him. Now it's just Sniffler in the 1 versus 2. Great nade should do a good chunk of damage onto him. And Lufsy will
time to
finish him.
jump, and Lufsy will punish it.
3 kills in that round for him. Good stuff. CUD now pick up their 13th round. They're getting very, very close to closing this one out, and TCD have a lot of work to do yet.
Yeah, pistol round save from TCD. Some wide variety of pistols, but still a pistol round nonetheless. Fuzz will take down CAG with an AWP, overpowering him just a little with that massive caliber sniper rifle. Edwards will take the duel onto long. He'll put an awful lot of damage onto Luvsy, but will eventually go down, leaving the A site wide open. The rotate has come in, but it's just Sniffler standing in bank, trying to find these players. You know the players right there in front of him. Can't find the kill on the BPRG with that AK.
Absolutely fearless from BPRG here to push in like that through a smoke against an eco. But that's the confidence TUD are feeling right now. That's what TCD are letting them get away with. That is definitely something they would probably want to look at for future games. Buzz will find one onto Ladle, and it's just Zygosaur left to be dropped by Sammy.
There's an awful lot of confidence on the TUD side, and a lot of that's coming from the fact that they are 14-6. They are very close to winning, and TCD are can't be losing any more rounds if they're going to prevent this going into match point, a draw, or worse, a loss.
Indeed. 2 AWPs on the field. Something I very much love to see on Overpass, because there's just so many great opening angles, so many opportunities for huge plays. And I think it would be a good opportunity for the likes of CAG, who seems to be favouring the opposite role on the team, to kind of shine through and bring some rounds onto the board for TCD. However, he will be dropped by Sammy almost right away. Redwoods trades it out before Redwoods gets traded by BPRG. Now it's a 4 versus 3 in favour of TUD as they go charging towards this A-bomb site. Buzz will make contact here towards the truck position, I think, onto Sniffler. But no, Sniffler will play it more passive. Going to fight another day. However, Lufsy will take him out. Now there's just the 2 TCD players remaining. Buzz, what are you doing? Holding W with that AWP will peek all the way over into the CT stairs to take out Ladle, and now it's just Zygosaur left in a 1 versus 4. He'll find the first onto Lufsy, but he's only got 14 hit points. I think they're looking to just get a quick kill onto him, and Buzz will do just that. What?
Alright, BPRG, you haven't won yet. Still an absolutely solid round from TCD. Brilliant, a brilliant rush that TCD just couldn't stop. And the money the way it is, TCD really can't afford to save this round, but they are.
I think they realized a little too late. And Negev coming out on Sniffler.
All right, I see how it is. I see how it is, Sniffler.
3 Deagles, a FAMAS, and a Negev. That is certainly a buy. Lufsy will drop Zygosaur, and that is the FAMAS drops. Now it's just 3 Deagles, 2 Deagles, and a Negev. I really want to see this Negev come into play. Please show me the Negev. Auto director. No, that is not the Negev. There we go. Sniffler.
Redwoods. Sniffler. He's in a position to make some good happen. The bomb is going to go down by Fuzz. Luvsy is going to put this bank, but Sniffler needs to be fast. He's not able to get the headshot with the Negev, so unfortunately that's all you're going to be seeing. Oh no, Luvsy will grab it himself and get the final kill of the round.
I saw a Negev kill. I am happy. That is 2-0 for TUD B team in this best of 2 series. Very entertaining series overall. First map very close, but the second map, I think TUD just kind of let that momentum carry them forward, and they came out on top in the end. Have you any closing words, Nasperud?
I'm scared of TUD.
Yeah, this is what their B team is showing. I can't wait to see some of their A team on stream. They have consistently been one of the better teams in the tournament. They've won, I believe, the last 3 in a row, possibly 4 in a row. So definitely a team to look out for in the coming stages and in the playoffs. But I believe that is it for us tonight. Thank you all very, very much for tuning in. It has been a pleasure. Stay tuned tomorrow night for some League of Legends action, and on Friday for some Rainbow Six Siege. More details to come on them as to which games will be played. So stay tuned onto our social medias, our Twitter, our Discord, our Instagram. There will be updates to come in the coming days. But yeah, that is it for us tonight. Stay safe, everybody. Wash your hands. And yeah, that's us signing off. Have a good night, everybody.
Have a good night.